Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot, and I'm back today to do a VR. I haven't done a VR for months. I think it was back in, I don't know, February, March time, the last one that I did. I wanted to do something that would really get my brain going about my decks and get all my decks out and have a good look at them and a good think. And so I saw on Witchy Wallflowers channel that she had done a VR to Nat, the horse witch. So I had a look at Nat's video as well, and I've decided to have a go at that, and it's the hashtag deck personalities. So I will link Nat's video and Kim's video at Witchy Wallflowers as well, so you can have a look at those. And there's 11 prompts, and I have really struggled to pick just one deck for each prompt. Some of them I've got one deck, but some there's more. But I'll try not to be too long. As I said, it's been a long time since I've had a good look at my decks, and it's been really nice actually to go through them all and have a really good think. So the first prompt is your deck with the most favourite art. And I could have just chosen so many decks for this. Let me get my decks here. I could have chosen the Serpent and Peacock art edition, my Medieval Europe tarot, my Oak, Ash and Thorn, my Osho Zen. There's just loads of decks that I love the artwork with. But I've chosen 3 decks, naughtily, not just one. I've chosen 3 that are different to the ones I just said. So the first one, I'm obviously not going to show you all the cards because I'd be here all day with all these decks. But the first deck that I just absolutely love the artwork of is the Marielle. I don't read very often with this deck, but it's a really good meditative deck, I think. It's the artwork in it I absolutely just love. I mean, for instance, this picture here, the 3 of Cups, I want that on my wall. Do you know what I mean? I want that as a huge, big painting on my wall. I just absolutely love it. This one, the 4 of Wands as well, beautiful. There's so much interesting artwork in this deck that the colours, I just absolutely love it. There's the odd card in the deck that doesn't really do anything for me, or I even find a bit unpleasant to look at, I suppose, the odd card. But on the whole, there are just so many cards in this deck that I would have on my wall given half a chance. Look at the world, look, she's beautiful. So yeah, that's the Marielle, and I think my absolute favourite card in this deck for the artwork, it's gone, it's not there, is it? Is this one. It is the 3 of Cups. I mean, just look at it. It's perfect, isn't it? For me, it just, the symmetry of everything is just perfect. The green. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love that card. So I couldn't not include that. My other favourite for the artwork, because I love this style of artwork, and I do actually have quite a bit of this artwork around my home, is sort of predominantly pre-Raphaelite art. And this is from the Art Occultist. This is one of her decks. You can see her channel on YouTube. I know she's been recording quite a few videos recently. I've been meaning to watch some of them. I actually have this one on my wall. This is called Flaming June. And I think what it is about the cards in this deck is I just love the sort of romanticism of it all. I mean, I particularly love pre-Raphaelite art, which is this one here. This is pre-Raphaelite too. And this lady here, the Empress. I mean, it's just stunning. I find it really quite emotional, pre-Raphaelite art. I just love, there's so many females in beautiful clothes with lovely long hair, and they're all just lying about looking gorgeous. And then there's all these very strong, burly knight type men. I just would have liked to have, well, you wouldn't want to be a poor female in this time, would you? But if you were comfortable and had a good family, I think what a lovely time to have been a woman. That's probably entirely wrong. It's just a romantic sort of image, isn't it, of a time period. But yeah, as you can see, some of the art in this doesn't do a huge amount for me, but it's very fitting for the cards. But some of it is just amazing. I think that's Circe, isn't it, in Temperance there. So yeah, I love the Art Occultist deck. It's a really nice deck all round, actually. And the backs are beautiful, aren't they? But the deck that I chose, that if I had to choose one, if I wasn't allowed to show you any of these other decks, it would be this one. The Witch's Wisdom Tarot deck, because I just absolutely love this lady's artwork. I've got her art on my walls. I've got a, where is it? I've got, just if I can reach this, I've got to this beautiful art print here. There is more love in the world than you could possibly imagine, by Danielle Barlow. I'm waiting to get that framed to go on my wall. So I just absolutely love her artwork, and I don't very often read with this deck just because of the way that it's structured, but I absolutely love the artwork in it. I really do. It's just, some of it is just absolutely stunning. Beautiful. I mean, there's so many decks, like I said, I could have chosen for this prompt. But I think out of them all, overall, this is probably my favourite, just because of the nature scenes, the colours, and just the feeling that it gives me. It kind of gives you a nice warm glow inside, I think, this deck. It's all the good things in life. There's not much in this deck to offend or upset. So yeah, there we go. The Witch's Wisdom deck. Beautiful. I absolutely love Danielle Barlow's art. So nice. So that was prompt number 1. So a deck gifted to you. Well, the last deck that was gifted to me is the Green Witch Tarot, which was gifted to me, and I have not used it. I'll be honest about that. It's still in order. It had been on my wish list for a long time. Let's put that down. And my lovely son's girlfriend, Pip, bought it for me for Christmas. So, yeah, it's now about to get out of order, isn't it? So yeah, this was the last deck that was gifted to me, and I really must use this because it, like I said, it had been on my wish list for a long time, and it's beautiful. I'm pretty sure that I can read with it, despite the names being changed and some of the imagery not being fully sort of Rider-Waite-Smith, because that is my thing. But yeah, look at the wild hunt there, the tower. That's amazing. I love that, actually. It's really nice, isn't it? Really nice. So yeah, that was the last deck that was gifted to me by my son's lovely girlfriend. So there's that one. A new kid on the block. Well, I think it's going to have to be the lovely Om Tarot. I've just done a couple of videos showing my latest 4 decks, but I think out of the 4, I think this is probably my favourite. It's by Darshani Suku, self-published, I think, actually, this deck. I bought it from Etsy. It's an indie deck. It comes in this beautiful bag, look. And they're really nice cards. This is not in order because I've shown it on my channel. I've not started to work with it as yet, but I'm sure I will soon. I don't think I'll get 4 cards across there, will I? Isn't it beautiful? So nice. It's all watercolours. It's a Hindu sort of base deck, the Hindu pantheon of gods and goddesses and deities, and it's based around the chakras, so the colours very much tie in with the chakras. You can see all of the Hindu sort of gods and goddesses in this deck. It's just lovely. I think it's a little bit thothy because that's the way the court cards are in this deck, but it's still quite an easy reader, really, I think, overall. It's beautiful, isn't it? Look at this, look. The little fairies on the flowers, it's just lovely. Queen of Discs, beautiful. The sun, so vibrant, isn't it? The moon. So yeah, that's my new kid on the block, and I'm really looking forward to using that over the coming months. At the moment, I'm trying really hard to work out what I'm gonna use over the coming months, because I've got such a lot of decks that were bought for me for Christmas that I've sort of collected through the year, and a lot of them are kind of quite neglected, really. So I have my sort of trusty favourites, and yeah, you know how it is. So prompt number 4 is the deck that gives the best readings. Well, for me, this was easy. This is my absolute favourite deck to read with, the Tower of the Abyss. Yeah, by Anatorian, obviously. I just love it. This deck is so well used. I edged it ages ago in black. It was a real big surprise to me that I loved this deck so much, because all my other decks in my collection, if you were to look at them, are very colourful. I don't have many shades of grey or black and white type decks at all. But I don't know, this this just speaks to me. I just absolutely love it. It doesn't bother me that there's not the colours. It doesn't need them. If anyone asked me to do a reading for them, this is probably the deck that I would pick up and use, unless the other person had a specific preference or it was a specific type of reading that required a specific type of deck, I suppose. I love that there's two different cards for the Three of Swords and the Ten of Swords. I really get that. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah. So that is my best readings deck. So the most dramatic deck, what have I got for that? So prompt number 5 is your most dramatic deck. Well, it was quite hard actually to try and work out. So I've got 2 decks here because I was struggling to choose. The first one is the Pensive Path Tarot by Reese Marin, which you will have seen on my channel many times. I absolutely love the artwork in this deck, but it is dramatic. You know, there's a lot of drama in these cards. They're not love and light type cards. They're quite dark. A lot of them, not just in the artwork, but in the themes and the feelings. It's not a bright, cheery deck, but it's a really good reader, if I'm honest. I've done many readings with this deck, and it is a very good reader. There are some cards in it. I don't like the use of clowns. I mean, as you can see, this card here, the Five of Swords, you know, this little boy here with the shirt with the blood on it and the sword, and, you know, you don't quite know what's going on in some of these cards. They are very dark, but some of them are just genius. I mean, look at the Two of Wands there. Look, he's like, shall I go out? Shan't I? Do I need my brolly? Don't I? Am I ready? Am I not? And the Reluctant Fool, I love that. The Strength card is genius, isn't it? Got a father and son there for the Two of Cups. The Ace of Swords, look, with the bloody scalpel. I think you can see what I mean. You know, the Nine of Swords there for the nightmares. There's somebody in the middle of some kind of fit, or I don't quite know what really. Some poor skinny man hanging off a cliff there. There aren't many cards in this deck that are light and cheery. The Nine of Pentacles is. I mean, we've got Judgment there. The poor shell-shocked soldier for the Nine of Wands. He's checked out, bless him. The woman with the head on her plate, which I can't remember the story that comes from. Yeah. I feel this is a dramatic deck. Look at that, look, the Ten of Swords. The Three of Pentacles, that's a very different take on the Three of Pentacles, isn't it? Very grumpy looking Four of Cups there. Women squabbling. Yeah, it's a genius deck. I think Reese was so clever making this deck. It's one of my absolute favourites. But I think it has to be called a dramatic deck. Yeah. And the second one, which I also think is a dramatic deck, is the El Goliath Tarot deck, which I did the Drop 'em 78 challenge last year with, and I did find it to be an extremely dramatic deck. I'll just show you a few of the cards. I mean, it's a very clever, well thought out deck, but some of the cards are quite difficult to look at. The Hanged Man, Death. I probably won't find them while I'm here, will I? Oh, there's the Devil, look. It's quite dramatic, isn't it? And the poor birds with their burning tree for the Tower. That's a hard card to look at. Polar Bear with Justice, the Judgment, the Transcendence. That's not easy to look at, is it? Some of them are quite sweet, actually. But some... Where are we? What else have we got here that's quite dramatic? I mean, the Empress, that's not what we would usually expect to see, is it? The King of Swords. It's not the nicest of images. The Imprisoned Bear. This weird sort of thing here. Yeah, I think you see what I mean. If you have this deck or you've ever really looked at it, you'll know what I mean. It's not an easy deck. For me, it comes under dramatic. You know, dramatic drama is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just it depends what you're after, really, with your cards, doesn't it? It depends on what questions you're asking, what you're after. We don't always want happy, smiley, cheery cards, do we? Because that doesn't always reflect our reality, does it? So prompt number 6 is deck I want to work with but doesn't agree with me. Well, again, there's quite a few decks I could have chosen for that, because at the moment I've got a few in my pile that I'm not sure if I'm going to rehome or not. They're decks that I feel that I should get on with, but I don't really. And I'm going to show you 3 very quickly. So there's Tarot of the Unexplained, which is a very new deck. I've not used it at all. I think it was copyright even this year, 2024. You can see it's still in order. I love the unexplained, anything unexplained. You know, years ago I would have called myself a conspiracy theorist. These days I'm a truth seeker, because I think that these so-called conspiracies are often truths waiting to be discovered. I don't know, I just don't know, but this is not doing it for me, which is weird and a shame, because I recognise a lot of the things in these cards. You know, I know the stories a lot of the creatures and the entities and things in this deck, but I don't know. It just, considering it's a real passion of mine as a subject, and it's, you know, on YouTube I watch a lot of videos about the unexplained and mysteries, and I don't know, this deck just doesn't, it's just not doing it for me. So I'll have to perhaps give it a bit more time and actually try and do some proper readings with it. I don't know. I mean, it's not a bad little guidebook, actually. Yeah, I should probably give it another go. The second deck, and I've been struggling with this deck for such a long time. I know so many people love it, the Tower of Mystical Moments, but I've never, this is in order as well, I mean, I've used this deck for VRs. I've looked through this deck so many times. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't do anything for me. I don't really know why. I mean, I'm not a big fan of collage decks, I suppose, if I'm honest. I don't really like AI type decks. I like decks that have been hand drawn, hand painted. This is not the sort of art that I'd have on my wall. It doesn't intuitively speak to me. And like I said, I have persevered with this deck for a long time. I've owned it for a couple of years, but I do wonder whether I will end up rehoming it, because it's just not my thing. I don't know. And there's one more deck as well that, and this one I will have a good go with. I must, because I wanted it for so long. The Borderless deck and book set, the Tower of a Moon Garden, and this is the new edition that came out maybe like a year or two ago, I'm not sure. It's got an excellent book, really, really nice book. There's a lot of information in there. And you know, this was on my wish list for so long. I was so excited to get it when it came out in the UK, because it took a long time. I was excited because they were small little cards. I felt there was a lot to like about them, but I have played with it. I have tried to read with it, and I do like, I like the art. I mean, I love the fairies, the dragonflies, I like it, but it just doesn't read well for me. Perhaps I should do a deck interview and ask it what it's good at reading, you know, or how I should approach it. I don't know. It's like I said, I like the colours. I love all the plants, the botanicals, the dragonflies, the butterflies. I mean, it's a very, very cute little deck, but for actual readings, I don't know. I don't want to rehome this deck. I haven't, it's not that bad for me. Like I said, perhaps I should do a deck interview with some of these decks I'm struggling with, and see what it says. See if there's a different way to approach the decks. So yeah, it was Tarot of the Unexplained, Tarot of the Mystical Moments, and Tarot of a Moon Garden. So, prompt number 7 is your most sarcastic deck. Well, this was difficult actually, because I don't really have any decks, I don't think, that are particularly sarcastic as tarot decks. I've got a couple of oracle decks that are a little bit more sarcastic, such as the Rebel deck. But I chose the Zombie Tarot just because it has that kind of sarcastic humour, I suppose. It is a little bit sarcastic when you read the guidebook. It's all very tongue-in-cheek, the humour in this deck. I edged it. So I love this deck, I have to say. I think it's really clever. And it does make me laugh. It makes me smile. Some of the major arcana in particular have quite a sarcastic feel about them, I suppose. Yeah. Like the Tower. You know, these people up in the penthouse think they're safe, but they're not, are they? The Six of Cups. That should be such a sweet, cute little card, but it's quite horrible and quite disturbing, isn't it? Oh, look at her in the Nine of Cups, bless. The Eight of Swords. Yeah. Let me just see in the guidebook what, because I know what I'm talking about, the sarcasm of it. Yeah. Like the magician. Is the magician working on a zombie cure, or does he have something more sinister in mind? Don't be fooled by this smooth talker's ideas and opportunities. They may be too good to be true. Even when he seems extremely willing to help with your problem, he likely has his own agenda. He's the puppet master. I like that. What else was there? That's always one of my favourite cards, the Hermit. I see myself in her very much. Like the Devil. I love the cigarette machine for the Devil. It's brilliant. So I don't know, is this sarcastic? It kind of is. The humour is somewhat sarcastic in this because it's all dressed up in this sort of idyllic, sort of, I don't know, is it Midwestern American type 60s type artwork? But it's portraying awful things, isn't it? So I don't know. I think that that's sarcastic anyway. The most gentle and mothering deck. Well, I think that would have to be my inner child cards, the Fairy Tale Tarot. This is a beautiful deck, actually. I mean, the card stock and the cards themselves are, well, they're gigantic. Look at them. They're enormous. The card stock is, well, it's shockingly terrible. But I like the cards. Let's pull this up a little bit. And the guidebook is absolutely amazing for this. It is really a deck of exploring your inner child through fairy stories. We've got all the real famous fairy stories like the Big Bad Wolf and Mother Goose, and I like the colours. There's a lot of flowers. This is a very summery sort of deck, I think. Very cheerful, very optimistic, very thought-provoking deck. Got Aladdin there. Peter Pan. Little Mermaid. It's like Father Christmas. You can see it's a very, very pretty and soft deck. The colours in it are lovely. And like I said, the guidebook is amazing for this. There's a lot of information about each one of the stories. Like Jack and the Beanstalk, you get 3 pages. And it really takes you through the story and makes you reflect really on your own life, the ups and downs of your own life. But it's in a very nurturing, very gentle way. I find this deck is like a big hug, to be honest. I think it's lovely. So, yeah, that would be my most gentle. Oops, sorry about that. That would be my most gentle, mothering type deck. What have we got next? Most playful deck. That would be this one. It's got to be. This is one of my very old favourite decks, the Mystical Cats. And I just think any deck that is full of cats And this gorgeous artwork as well has got to be playful, hasn't it? There's nothing dark, nothing mean, nothing too sad in this deck. It's all just gorgeous cats. Justice here, consequences. It's just, yeah, to me it's playful. I think all my cat decks are playful in their own way. I think, what's another deck I've got that's playful? Pagan cats, is it black cats? Grim Walkins, curious cats, not so playful. What have I got? The new one recently. Forest felines, that's another one that I find quite playful. I mean, there's the odd card in this that's just awful, like the Ten of Sky, where I remember the first time I saw that just made me want to cry. That is just I can't cope with a poor beaten up old cat, blimey. But there's not much else in this that is upsetting or dark. This is very cute. Look at that one's strength with the blue tits. The big fluffy earth queen. The world. The cat at the window. Oh, it's just, isn't it beautiful? Another little sad one, the Five of Earth. Again, I can't cope with the cat sat in the snow, looking through the window, wishing he was in front of the fire with all the food. That's too sad. But there's not much else here that is. So yeah, cats. Cats are playful, I think, in tarot. So there's that one. We're getting there. Number 10, a pre-loved deck with the energy of its previous owner. Well, I don't have a deck that I could attribute a personality to that's pre-loved. I've got lots of used decks that I've bought used from eBay and Vinted and places, but they're all bought from people I don't know, so I can't assign a personality to them. So what I thought is, even though this was not pre-loved, this particular deck, it was definitely pre-loved by the person who gave it to me, which was Emzy at Mystic Emzy. And she gifted this to me a couple of years ago for Christmas, I think. And and I just think this deck is Emzy. She showed it a lot of times on her channel, and it's a quirky, quite interesting deck. And to me, every time I look at this deck, it just makes me think of Emzy. So, yeah. It's not a deck I've read with particularly very much, but it's one I like to look at. And every time I look at it, I see something different. You know, there are all sorts of layers of interest in this deck. It's a very peculiar, quirky, interesting deck that makes me laugh out loud sometimes. It's a very funny deck. So yeah, this deck to me makes me think about Emzy. If you were to watch any of Emzy's videos of her own deck collection, you would see this is very much her type of thing. She likes quirky decks. So yeah, it's the Symbolic Soul Tarot. Right, and we've got one last question, haven't we? Let's just put these away. So the last question is another personality deck that's not named here amongst all the other questions. So I was looking through all my decks and looking, and I ended up with this one, the Ferenc Pinter deck. And it's a low Scarabeo deck. And I've assigned this the personality of depressive. because that's what it is. I don't know why I bought this deck. I saw it on somebody's channel that I can't remember now. I think there was probably a couple of cards in it that I thought were interesting. But on the whole, let's take those out. On the whole, this is never a deck I would choose if I was happy or cheerful or I don't know how or what I would choose this deck to read for. It is a depressive deck, I think. I mean, look, that's just horrible, that Fool. I really don't like that. I don't like any of the characters in this deck. The High Priestess. I don't know. It's just weird. Weird. The Emperor there, look, with this poor woman. I mean, what's he done to her as he's charging away? The very worst type of Hierophant there. The Lover's card is a beautiful card. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. It would be interesting to study. Oh, look at the wheel, look. That is really like some sort of torture device, you know, in medieval England where people were broken on the wheel. It's quite horrid. The Hanged Man, look at that. I think I can see myself rehoming this deck because there's just not enough here to make me want to keep it. It's interesting, but it's dark and grim and depressive, and it's not really my cup of tea. I mean, I know we need to have light and shade, but you know, look at that. That's just horrible, isn't it, for the Eight of Swords? You totally get that's the Eight of Swords, but it's horrible. As is the Four of Swords. She's not just having a little rest there. She looks like she's dead, doesn't she? The King of Wands. Oh, yeah. Look at that, look. What's going on there in the Five of Wands? I don't know. Tell me, what do you think? Does anybody have this deck? What do you make of it? What do you think of it? Look at the Devil, look. Ew. With his pointy fingernails. Horrid. So yeah, that would be another personality. A depressive deck is the Ferenc Pinter tarot deck. So if you've got any of these decks, let me know how you feel about them, how they work for you, especially the ones that I'm struggling to work with or I'm not enjoying. It would be nice to hear how other people get on with them. I just love to hear from people anyway. That's why I'm here, is for the engagement and the interaction. So do say hello, and much love to everybody, and I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.